Pittsburgh gets some new public recreation options, and we explain a weather condition Missouri hasn't seen in 3 years. KOAM News at 10 is next.
A recent study was shown that said that the city of Miami, Oklahoma is in need of new homes. I'm Ty Parks, and I'll be speaking with someone about what the solutions are to solve this coming up.
Plus, Webb City gets a new recreation and community center, and a weather condition Missouri hasn't seen in 3 years brings a blessing and challenges.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Miami, Oklahoma area needs more housing. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The Miami Area Economic Development commissioned a study to look at the housing market of the city of Miami and Ottawa County. As Ty Parks reports, the results are in.
The results of housing on the Miami, Oklahoma area has concluded. Shannon Duhan with the Miami Area Economic Development Service shares the purpose of the study.
How many housing units are we actually short? Not just here in Miami, but in Ottawa County as a whole. Once we knew that, we also were trying to look at what is the age of our existing housing market. We do know that we have a housing market that is really starting to come of age.
The study indicates that the city needs between 500 and 600 new homes. The study also found that the median construction year of an existing home is 1973. Many homes need rehabilitation. Also, the study looked at the number of citizens in Miami and the surrounding areas.
There's a lack of houses on the market in this area. And we have a lot of buyers looking for certain price ranges. If there's a home that's move-in ready, reasonably priced, like I say, between $120 and $130 a foot, they sell very quickly. We don't have enough homes for our buyers in the $100,000 to $200,000 price range.
The city of Miami faces many challenges, but one stand out above the rest.
It's flooding. The river, we have 2 rivers that are on both sides of Miami. The one that kind of cuts Miami in half. And every time we flood, which is a little too frequent for our liking.
Challenges have been identified, but what are the solutions?
What we're going to do now is we're going to identify those infill lots that can be developed. We're going to identify other property that may be available that's not in the floodplain, that has the potential to be a new housing development. See about acquiring some of those properties, working with developers to help them get into those properties and build homes and maybe delay some of those upfront infrastructure costs.
The infrastructure costs are laying new sewer, water, and electric.
We're all in this together. So I'm talking about this organization, the Miami Area Economic Development Service. I'm talking about the city of Miami. I'm talking about our other municipalities. I'm talking about the county. I'm talking about our tribal partners. We are all actively working to solve the housing problems that we have here in Ottawa County. And so we as collective in this case, because none of us are able to go out and just do it on our own.
In Miami, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Miami Area Economic Development plans to look at areas around Ottawa County to find land for a subdivision. King Jack Park in Webb City celebrates a new 17,000 square foot recreation and community center called the W Club. The city marked the opening with this ribbon cutting from Gibson Barrett, a Webb City girl who finished 3rd in the nation in the hoop shoot competition. The new facility features a basketball court, pickleball, and volleyball net, not to mention a concession stand, multi-purpose rooms. One official says they hope everyone discovers the club's a place to have fun.
I want people to feel like they have a place to learn their skills and just have fun. With sports, it can get competitive, and they could shy away from a certain sport if they're in a really competitive place. But my hope is for the W Club to be an open and inclusive place where anyone can come play.
The event also featured a tour of the facility with free food and drinks from concessions, along with free tea samples from HTO. Another ribbon cutting ceremony, this one in Pittsburgh today, celebrates some new pickleball courts. The Four Oaks Sports Complex hosted the event for the grand opening of the new Johnson family pickleball courts. The courts honor Julie, J.W., Georgia Johnson, and their coach Jack Johnson, often referred to as the first family of pickleball. While the Johnsons have made their mark on the world stage, they're now making history right here at home. Following the ceremony, the family played a round of pickleball with the community and signed autographs.
They called me and said, do you mind if we change some of these pickleball or tennis courts over to pickleball? I said, no, we'd love it. And more people can play it. It's easier to learn.
The courts are amazing. We do love it. We're here every day.
Yeah, again, replacing some former tennis courts now with pickleball courts. The city of Nevada, Missouri says it'll soon begin enforcing a code for owners of pools and hot tubs. If your pool, hot tub, or spa holds more than 2 feet of water, it has to be fully enclosed with a fence at least 4 feet tall and include a self-closing, self-latching gate. City staff say it's a national code that many cities across the country enforce, but recent complaints from community members now encourage Nevada to begin enforcing it. Staff cite community safety, especially for children, as the reason for the rule. City staff say they're giving residents time to comply with the code, with enforcement beginning in May of next year. Residents will need to get a fence permit from the city by October. Certainly pool weather. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty is going to join us with a first look.
Well, it definitely turned out to be super hot, super humid once again for us today. High temps into the mid-90s, and this sticks around. For now, we are going to get some relief, but heat, humidity sticking around over the next couple days. Heat index, triple digits. You know the drill. We've been doing this for about 10 days so far. It does look like warm temperatures returning later on this week. We're talking about 80s. We are even talking about lower 80s for afternoon highs. Also some thunderstorm chances increasing, especially Thursday and also on Friday. Not really on Tuesday. There may be 1 or 2 spotty little guys that pop up, but look at the highs, 97, 98, 99 for afternoon highs. Even on Wednesday, we start into the upper 70s, back into the mid to upper 90s for afternoon highs. We're going to look at that relief with the heat here in just a bit.
Doug, thanks. For the first time in 3 years, no part of Missouri is under a drought or abnormally dry conditions. Rain we saw this past spring and summer so far did the trick to get rid of the drought. However, as Nick Kelly reports, that brought both blessings and challenges for the rest of the growing season.
Since June of 2022, the state of Missouri has had abnormally dry conditions or some state of drought. But that quickly faded away with spring and summer soakings. For Dan Bigby at Fast Night Creek Farm, that rain came with flooding at the creek and wind damage.
Lots of trees on the creek down that are in the way. Also things like tall cannas and corn. With the excessive moisture, then you get the wind and it lays them over, and they're a loss that way. And it just is rough conditions this year.
Jason Walker has 3 different farms across Christian, Greene, and Polk counties to cover his cattle, alfalfa, hay, and other crops. While Walker's grateful to have too much rain than not enough rain, it did put a wrench into his plans.
We do a lot of planting and a lot of our first hay cutting in April and May. And those were 2 of the wettest months, the way I understand, on record. And we got our crops planted a little bit later, and we also got our hay harvested a little bit later. It was nice to, have something to harvest.
Both are fortunate to have some positives as the growing season continues. Farmer Dan is now glad the heat is helping along a sweet summer treat.
We got some wonderful, sweet, seedless red watermelons. Got some orange and yellow. Cantaloupe, watermelon, and peaches are what are really floating the boat.
As for Jason, he's pleased with how his alfalfa planting has gone so far at his Ozark farm. While he's glad for the dry time, he remains optimistic about how things could go by this fall.
We would like to see a little bit of rain going into the fall to plant our fall crops, but right now, I don't think we can complain too much. We've had pretty good moisture for the year.
No matter how the rest of the summer growing season and upcoming fall goes, both Dan and Jason say they're farmers, and that means they're ready to adapt to our ever-changing and sometimes interesting weather. Coming up, the latest on the search for a killer after a mother and father are found dead in a popular Northwest Arkansas hiking spot. We're going to show you a new composite sketch of the suspect. And 5 people, including a New York City police officer, were shot and killed by a lone gunman in Midtown Manhattan today will have the latest. Police in Arkansas are searching for a suspect in the deaths of a couple who investigators said were attacked while on a wooded walking trail with their 2 young daughters. All trails at Devil's End State Park in Washington County, Arkansas have been closed as the investigation continues. A husband and wife, 43-year-old Clinton Brink and 41-year-old Kristen Brink, were hiking with their daughters, ages 7 and 9, when that attack happened on Saturday. Authorities say the couple died protecting their children. The victims' bodies have been sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab to determine the official cause and manner of death. And now authorities have released this composite sketch of the suspect. State police say he's believed to be a white man of medium build, wearing dark pants, a long-sleeve shirt with sleeves rolled up. He had a baseball cap, sunglasses, and fingerless gloves at the time. He was also believed to be driving a black 4-door sedan. Witnesses say the description came from people inside the park. A convicted killer faces new charges after deputies say he attacked a neighbor in Carl Junction. Jasper County Sheriff's deputies arrested 46-year-old Dustin Fanning last night after witnesses say he chased his girlfriend with a hatchet and threatened to harm everyone in a home on State Highway 96. They say when the homeowner tried to take the hatchet away, Fanning punched the man in the head and then started breaking windows. Officers found Fanning hiding in nearby woods and arrested him for assault and burglary. Fanning previously served time for killing his 78-year-old father in 2008. We have more details on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A New York City police officer was shot and killed, and another was wounded in a shooting in Midtown Manhattan this evening. As Jesse Mitchell reports, sources say the shooter walked into the high-rise building carrying an AR-style weapon by his side and went to the 33rd floor and opened fire.
Multiple people were shot and a police officer was killed Monday evening when a gunman stormed a Midtown Manhattan office building before turning the gun on himself. The gunman has been identified as Shane Tamura, a Las Vegas resident. A still photo shows Tamura approaching the office building located at 345 Park Avenue at around 6:30 p.m. carrying a rifle believed to be an AR-15. The office building that he stormed houses the NFL headquarters, Blackstone, and KPMG. At least one police officer was shot at the scene and later died at a hospital. After opening fire, the gunman reportedly barricaded himself inside the skyscraper and was discovered dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on the 33rd floor. Soon after the shooting, police officers were seen carrying at least one person from the building and performing CPR on the victim in the middle of the street. Witnesses described the aftermath of the shooting as chaotic.
The police had their guns drawn for a long time, and nobody knew what to do, so people were just still milling about 51st Street. I did hear a few gunshots, and then officers started flooding the area and then pushing people back.
The motive for the shooting remains unknown. The gunman is believed to have acted alone. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
Police say 3 people died after a gunman opened fire at a resort and casino in Reno, Nevada. Several people were injured. Police responded to reports of an active shooter at the Grand Sierra Resort's front door and valet area this morning. Authorities say an officer-involved shooting occurred once the suspect was found. The suspect, who is now in police custody, was injured and taken to the hospital. The Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo says the state's Department of Public Safety is helping local authorities with that investigation. Well, it's ice cream weather, and a little later, a young 4-stater helps provide a sweet treat for a cool cause. But first, Doug Hetty tells us when we'll get some relief from the heat. His complete forecast is next.
Well, it definitely turned out to be hot and humid for us today. We had a couple random little thunderstorms that popped up kind of in south central Missouri earlier today. Those are all gone. We look fine as we go through the rest of the night into Tuesday morning, but a very warm start. Look at this, upper 70s to kick off your Tuesday. As we go through the morning hours, By noon, I think we're going to be mid-90s. Once we get into the afternoon, just blitzing hot, 97, 98, maybe a 99 out there. There is going to be a very slight chance for 1 or 2 storms to pop up. Most of you will stay dry. Let's go into Wednesday morning. Thunderstorms kind of tracking along in north by 70. Again for us, mainly dry, upper 70s. Let's go into Wednesday afternoon. 1 or 2 random storms trying to pop up again. High temps 96, 97, 98 degrees. But here's the shift. We have a cold front, starts to drag in. This is going to be Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Right now, still a couple days away, but right now it looks like a complex of showers and thunderstorms will be possible to get through late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Some of those could be a little bit stronger, so we'll keep our eyes on that, but that would give us some widespread rain. All right, Tuesday, 94 by noon, high temp, 98 degrees. We know the humidity is up there. Dew points are sitting mid-70s, so what that means for you is it feels soupy across the region, and our heat index is going to be up there again, 103 to 107 as we go through Tuesday afternoon. Let me take you into Wednesday, 103 to about 107 once again. Here's the problem. This is why our big dome of high pressure, our heat dome, but look what happens. Our high starts to slip off toward the west once we get into Thursday and Friday. This allows waves to rotate in and ushers in a little bit cooler air. So we're going to have a 3 or 4 day stretch where we start to cool off. Now, once we get to Sunday, our high, he starts to sneak back in. So even though we are going to get a little bit of relief from the heat, it's not going to be long-lived as our high pressure will work back in as we go into early next week. Chances for thunderstorms, we already talked about Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Scattered thunderstorms trying to pop up again as we get into Thursday afternoon, and even a few random storms on Friday as well. But notice the temperatures. We're looking at lower 80s, possibly for highs on Friday. Even Saturday, mid 80s, quite a bit of sunshine. Rain out to our west, slowly starting to heat back up as we're in the mid upper 80s by the time we get into Sunday afternoon. But this is going to be a nice surprise for us after all the heat that we have seen. Also rain. We should get at least some widespread rain. We'll have to see how much as we get a little bit closer to these rounds of storms on Thursday and Friday. 98 Tuesday, 98 on Wednesday, but 89 Thursday, and a high temp of only 83 on Friday afternoon.
Doug, thanks. Hey, a sweet moment for a good cause. Young Sebastian Green here is getting a first taste at giving back. The Granby boy created his own blizzard ahead of Miracle Treat Day at Dairy Queen on 32nd Street in Joplin. Sebastian was diagnosed with autism at age 3. He's received support from Children's Miracle Network, and on July 31st, $1 from every blizzard sold will go to Freeman Health System to help kids in the 4 states. Sebastian gave this blizzard he made to his grandmother. Still ahead, the standout players for Pitt State and Missouri Southern football this preseason. Ryan Blank has that story coming up in sports.
The 1% Club, only Tuesday on Fox.
Today, Emporia State hosted the 2025 MIAA Football Media Day. KOAM Sports Director Ryan Blank had the chance to talk to some coaches and players from the Gorillas and Lions. He gives us a preview of the upcoming season.
MIAA Media Day has come and gone here in Emporia. For Pitt State and Missouri Southern State, this year is all about having key pieces back for one more run. Starting with the Gorillas, they get running back Cleo Chandler Jr. and safety Ryan Medeiros back for one more run. The two, who are now named captains, are ready to make a run at a national title after using their last year of eligibility to stay with Pitt State.
Last year, a little disappointed in our season. We definitely brought the culture back the last 3 years, I'd say, but like I said, getting over that hump, we just got to get over that second round, first round of playoffs, and our expectation is a national championship, and we know we have the ability and the people around us to do that.
They're a testament just to the process of college football, right? In this day and age of transfer, of this NIL stuff, to have 2 guys that you recruited, came in as high school seniors for you, redshirted, went through the development process, maybe didn't play much their first few years here and just kept working and working. To see those guys rewarded as team captains, I think is really, really cool. Their teammates voted them captains, but then obviously they've been huge contributors for us over the last couple of years on offense and defense as well. So just excited to see both those guys. Hopefully have great senior seasons.
As for the Lions, they also get a key piece back in their backfield. Nathan Glades is returning for a 5th year and will be back in action after missing all of last season due to a torn ACL.
When I talk about it, it's just so exciting because it's like I've played football for 18 years of my life, and then it's like you get that taken away from you in that year. It's like, what do I do in that sense? But I figured it out. I found my way on how to be more of a faithful man in that sense to the Lord, and then how to be a better man overall. Getting a rundown and everything, like I get pumped when I talk about it because it's like that's what I want. I want to be able to feel, the love from the community again and be able to be with my teammates and do those kind of things and play games like that.
The Gorillas kick off their season in exactly 1 month at Ferris State. The Lions begin just 2 days later, playing against Midwestern State. We'll be right back with more news after this.
State hero.
It's going to be another hot one once again on Tuesday. 98 degrees again on Wednesday. Random storm. Most of you are going to stay dry, but a little bit better chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday into Friday. Also notice the temperatures were dropping into the 80s for highs, sticking around into the weekend.
Doug, thanks. We told you a little bit earlier in this broadcast that authorities tonight have released a composite sketch of the suspect in that Devil's Den double murder case. We have a bit of time here, so we want to show this to you again. Authorities released this just about 9:30 tonight. This came from the Arkansas State Police Department. Composite sketch of the man believed to be the killer in that case, killing a young mother and father. They say he's a white man, medium build. At the time he wore dark pants, long sleeve shirt, sleeves rolled up, baseball cap, sunglasses. Obviously that would have changed now. Look for updates online. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.